is, well, when they see the bad apples, what are they doing about it?
That's people. I
So,
don't know if this. I don't know. I feel like this is maybe. I think it happens in the military too, and I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because there's different tiers, like rankings. Even if you're a police officer, there's different rankings. I don't know if they're afraid if they rat somebody out about something, then they'll get ratted out about something else, and then it's just a whole domino effect. But I mean, there should be whistleblower status inside the police community where if you see somebody doing something and you're questioning their motives or who they are as a person, you should be able to speak up and they should do an investigation. And if it turns out that they're a piece of shit, then they should not be on the police force. It's like if you're a doctor and you're cutting off someone's leg, but they need their arm amputated, that guy gets fired.
I think it's more if you're a doctor and you are sedating someone to rape them.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, yeah,
like
it's if you're a bad person or you're a bad pharmacist or if you're a bad, I don't know, you work at a church or a school. Those people, they get those people out. And I don't know why it doesn't happen as much in the police community because they are there. They are the buffer in society between people who are doing right things and people who are doing things that are wrong. And they are now doing the things that are wrong. And you just can't have that. They are the only buffer. It's not firemen. You know, it's not ambulance drivers. It's them. The guys carrying the guns. It's fucking bullshit. It makes me so angry.
Andrew, what do you got? A lot, it seems like.
It's becoming increasingly harder to talk about this shit for me. I'm on so many fucking anti-anxiety meds right now that, like, I can barely emote. I feel glimpses of rage. I feel glimpses of fear. When you guys were just talking, there was, like, a part of me that wanted to cry, but then there's a part of me that wanted to throw my fucking laptop against the wall. I'm sick and tired of having to beg people to listen to me, to what it is that I go through or what it is my people go through. And when I try to talk to people about it, they bring up all these statistics about white people suffer from police brutality more than black people. So they disregard my argument or try to punch holes into how I'm feeling. And then when I have these athletes that we talked about on a previous podcast, when you reach a certain level, you do not suffer from the exact same things that you do when you're coming up. But I still have people out there that are willing to sacrifice the status in which they came to fight on my behalf. And then they get chastised. Their message gets completely thrown to the wayside, just like when I'm asking nicely. When I protest, I'm told, this is not the way to conduct your argument. Why are you preventing hardworking people from going to work on time? Don't you have jobs you need to go to? This is not the right way to go about it. And then when I get angry enough that you're not listening to me, that I riot, which in all fairness, I think that almost all of the riots at least have started with white people, regardless of what side they're on. But even if it was black people, which I know were participating in the rioting, I don't blame them. I don't criticize them. I understand. AutoZone and Target were looted. And I had to go online and hear a bunch of people talking about how about people are burning down our own communities. Last time I checked, Target or AutoZone are not owned by anyone in my community. If you look at the average wages for an employee at Target or AutoZone, it's around $25,000 or $26,000 a year. That's it. That's it. Where's the poverty line? How are you supposed to build anything off of $25,000 or $26,000 a year? In Minneapolis, 23% of blacks own homes. Only 23%. What the fuck am I burning down that's mine? What part of the community is mine? They do everything they possibly can do to disregard and dismiss when I tell you that I'm upset, when I tell you that there are legitimate concerns that I have, and then you question every method I have to try to get my point across.
Yeah.
I've got nothing anymore. I'm not trying to reach and change anybody's minds anymore. I'm past that part. We tried to do it peacefully. Martin Luther King tried to do it peacefully, and they shot his fucking ass. And now I've got to also go and hear people try to whitewash his message and then tell me how it is that he would have handled this situation, or how it is that he would have been upset with the way that I'm handling this situation. Fuck you.
No,
You don't get to do that to me.
I'm fully in support of that.
They take our leaders. You turn Malcolm X into a racist person, and then you are part of the process of getting him killed. You take Martin Luther King and you completely change what he's about to fit your fucking narrative. I'm done. I'm done. If there are protesters and looters that are out there burning black-owned businesses and local businesses, I had nothing for you. I understand your anger, but I also understand that it needs to be funneled in a different way. And that's what I'm looking towards right now, is the planning stages of what's next. But don't anybody have any room to fucking criticize me or anybody that looks like me, because you spent so goddamn long not listening. So I don't care.
Facts.
Actual facts. All right. That was deep. But I
Real.
Yeah,
that was 100% real.
And also
And
for
that's
anyone
a fucking reality.
For anyone that's
unfortunately.
actually listening, this is a fight for all communities to come together to support and listen. This is not one side versus another. This change only comes in groups. And if everybody's actually listening, this is a message where we all need to come together to make change. It's not going to happen one side against the other. That's going to be a disaster. So everybody who is listening, this message is for you to stop what you're doing and figure out, start planning with your friends, start planning with your neighbors, and figure out, we got to come to some sort of solution. Don't know what it is, but it can't be one side against the other. Everybody's got to open their ears and open their hearts and start to figure this out, because it's gone on for way too long.
I understand that part of it. I will tell you this. This is where my head's at. I do think it's one side versus the other, and I'm completely fine with it at this point. When we were talking about, in the way that we started this conversation, was how do I feel about the athletes providing their platforms? I'm one line and I see you. I see you. If you are online and you want to continue to post pictures of your fucking brunch instead of taking a stand as far as where this is, I see you. If you want to be out here and you're going to try to, like I said, whitewash Martin Luther King's message to then come back and to treat me like I'm a fucking child on how it is I should act, I see you. You're not on my side. I don't want you on my side.
Right.
It's over. I'm done with that. You can either be with me and with this cause, or you're not. And if you're not, fuck off.
No, and that's completely fair. I mean, I think my point is that your side, my side, our side, should be as in the greatest numbers and coming together to come up with a solution, even if it is against those people. Because fuck those people. Either you're doing something about it or you're part of the problem.
Yep.
That's it. So
this was probably the greatest thing that we have ever done on the podcast so far. Thanks to Kadeem. Appreciate you, bro.
love you, man.
But you know, it's I don't want to say it's funny, but this is not the first time that Kadeem talks like that out of his heart. I remember the conversation that we had at Ryan's deck with one of Ryan's friends that was present, and she kind of asked you some questions, and you responded the exact same way that you did right now, full of passion and full of kind of try to make your point across. But now I guess I know that it's enhanced because of all the bullshit that's happening. So it's not the first time that you spoke out, and I don't know if this matters for you, but I listen, and it sucks. I wish I could relate a little bit more, but I guess nothing's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's fucking
I'll say this one thing. It's shit that like we've been saying, our parents have been saying, grandparents have
Right.
been saying, everybody's been saying forever. It's now that we all have social media and you see videos. I mean, shit, y'all were looking at videos in '91 of Rodney King and all this other shit. And now it's the next generation that comes up. And
30 years after is the same.
yeah, like,
Shit ain't
Yeah.
new.
Yeah,
Nope.
it's not new.
it's now everybody sees it.
George,
And even then, there was a time where, like, what, 2012 we talked about, Kadeem,
Mhm.
where people started to see. There was like a week span where it was every fucking day you would look online and see a black person be murdered with like unarmed.
Yep.
Like I've seen videos of somebody running away from a cop and then they just shoot him in the back.
that was in one of the Carolinas.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, man. And I see these people and they look like all of my family. George Floyd looked like my dad.
They
It could have
are
been my
our
dad.
family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This
Yeah.
shit ain't new. This shit ain't new.
Right.
This T-shirt I'm wearing is a Boycott Styles T-shirt. If you don't know where it's from, watch Do the Right Thing. Do the Right Thing came out in 1989. You can watch that shit right now and realize that every single thing that's talked about in that movie still happens today. It still happens today. There's
30
a
years.
difference between pacifying people and doing just enough to keep them to shut the fuck up and keep going and making actual changes. There's a difference there. And I'm sick and tired of being pacified.
Yeah,
It's some fucking
no.
bullshit. Unless it changes, I'm done. I'm out. So, like, me and James have talked a lot. I think that it's not to keep anybody out of anything, but it's just that I understand. And we don't just, even my friends that are trying to do right by me and want to be allies, sometimes I just don't want to I don't want to have the conversation with you. Because I know as much as I appreciate you trying to understand, and I appreciate and I love you for it, there's just sometimes I know I need to have that connection with somebody that actually gets it.
Oh,
And
yeah, I agree with that 100%.
but like I spent the last couple of days actually writing a list of shit that an agenda of shit that I want to get done. I think I'm gonna start recording a couple videos on my Instagram just to get that shit across. But I'm tired of this shit, man. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. And you guys know me. I spend all my time trying to speak nicely to people. I spend all my time trying to reach across and to find some sort of connection and to bridge that gap. And I'm now at a particular point in time where I'm like, yo, I've been trying that. I might get one or two people, and it's always got to be those one or two people to get to a point where they actually love me, that I can get to a point where I'm like, all right, maybe they understand where I'm coming from, and it's still a maybe. I'm enough's enough, man. Like I'm over this shit. I'm ready to let everything fucking burn because it's you don't understand what is in this fucking pandemic. Who's dying more than anybody? Our people. Who's on the front lines in those essential worker gigs as far as in the grocery stores, especially in the city? It's my people. Who's
protesting? Us.
Us. We still out there trying to get rice and just spreading this fucking virus around to each other because we just want you to listen. Like it's just like I'm shaking. I don't.
I hear you. Dude, I don't. It's just so much bullshit. I hate, and I know this is how it is, but I hate that I know you guys, and I've never had, oh, my black friend Kaden and my black friend James. You guys are just my friends. I never saw the difference between things. But I also see where you're coming from, where, yeah, it might be one side versus one side, and I wish it wasn't like that, but I don't think there's anything that I can do to, make it a little bit more, I guess, streamlined. All of us as Americans be the one. I guess that's just like the dream or whatever. In a perfect world, it will be like that. But
here's what I'll tell you: if you want to be an ally and you're not black, listen
right
to what we're saying. Stop trying to poke holes in the shit that we're saying. try to have empathy and put yourself in our shoes. Think about if it was your kid, your brother, your father, your sister.
Yeah.
That was one of
me.
us, right? Outside of that shit, work on your own fucking families and friends. That's what y'all need to do, is to check that shit. When you're at Thanksgiving dinner and you got your fucking uncle says some sly shit about that Negro in the White House, Obama, check his ass. When they're talking about all these people and these thugs doing this, that, and the other, check their asses. They ain't listening to me. They might listen to you. But you got to find that bridge to kind of get in those people, because it's clear to see for me for the last how many hundreds of years, that regardless of how it is that I go about it, my people go about it, they ain't fucking listening.
Right.
So I'm off of them. I'm done. That's why I'm saying that there's a line in the sand for me. If you're an ally, you focus on those people. I got no time for them anymore. I'm ready to do what we need to do past those motherfuckers. If y'all want to still have those people involved in our society in that way, y'all work on them. Y'all work on y'all families. Y'all work on y'all friends. It ain't up to me no more.
Facts.
To tie it all back to sports, once again, props to the players and all the athletes that have been protested. I think they have a bigger platform, and being in national television and, you know, showing messages, supporting all of that, I think is really great.
Yep, even those that aren't on national TV right now, that
Sure.
are just there. And it's going to go down in the history books again. Like I said before, social norms has a history of being ignorant, right? So the shit that the general public thinks is okay, years later it's not. And then they look back and like, what the fuck were y'all doing? And that's going to be the same shit now. So I appreciate all the players going back to their communities, like Dennis Smith Jr., Jaylen Brown, Malcolm Brogdon, Justin Anderson, and countless others. Like during a pandemic, when they're about to start the season back up, they're on the front lines showing support, trying to lead these protests to show that this shit isn't okay. And then you got players that are playing their sport that are showing the same thing. So I'm happy for the players to do that. But something has to change.
Yeah, 100%. Speaking